Hello, everyone. This is Cynthia Mazzaferro with Powerful Beyond Measure, and I am delighted to introduce to you Eleanor Miller, a really amazing woman and an author of a wonderful book. If I'm so strong, why do I feel so weak? And we're going to be talking about that amazing book that's coming out next year, but you can order them today and get your one of the first copies that are be released in 2018. But I'm so excited to hear about this book and to tell you about a little bit about Eleanor. Hi, Eleanor. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And if the internet seems a little slow, she's out in a rural area. So if there's a pause
I'm
between her
sorry.
answers, that's why. But technology still allows us to become present no matter where we are in the world. So that's a wonderful thing. So Eleanor has been in the medical arena for probably close to 40 years in total. She was a paramedic for what, 35 years, 34 years? And then she went into
34 years.
34 years. And really, helping people, life-threatening situations. We've all think of those. We see the ambulance going out and the fire trucks and being the first responders at the scenes there. So that, she's seen horrific things and been very instrumental in bringing people to hospital to bring care to them. So very important role. And at some point in her life, she started to explore something else, and she went into interfaith ministry. And she also has become a Reiki master and a licensed certified hypnotist. And she is also interacting with people that are responding to her book and her passion and mission. So, Eleanor, I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about this as we talk about your book and what you hope people to reveal when they read it. So, welcome and thanks for being here today.
Thank you, thank you. Well, my book, If I'm So Strong, Why Do I Feel So Weak? The title really says it all. The subtitle is Helping Those Who Help Others to Help Themselves.
Mhm.
I found through all my years of helping others that there are so many people who are there for everybody else, but when it comes to them, they are so lacking, and it just creates such a cycle for them that they are so unable to do anything for themselves without guilt, without fear, without judgment. So this book was my passionate feelings about, hey, there is hope out there. The book is based a lot on my life and what I have gone through with the masks, the fears, the judgments, and how I was able to make those changes. But it's difficult. It is difficult to do when you're trying to do it on your own.
Right. So before
I
we
have
get into
found.
before we get into the nuts and bolts of that, let's just break it down slowly so that our audience really can also resonate, because I know this is so true for so many, that we are nursemaids, we're always caring for other people, and that we tend to forget about ourselves. So why do you think that happens for people? And if you want to share, why did it happen for you? Why were you always nurturing
Well,
others?
Well, it begins when we're born. I mean, when you're born, you're like, your parents give you, oh, look at, isn't she great? Isn't she this? Isn't she that? You get your labels, okay? And then as you're growing up, you become the helper. So you're known now as the helper. You go to school, your teachers give you labels. So now you're the smart one, you're the helper. And then, people who interact with you throughout your life, especially in childhood, start giving you these labels that make you feel good for that time. And then it's like you take on that whole persona. It becomes so embedded in you, and you show yourself as that person, because as a child, we look for the acknowledgement, the acceptance, making our parents happy. So if we're making people happy by doing that, oh, if we're not going to be doing that, we're going to cause people to be discouraged, unhappy. They won't like us. And it becomes a vicious cycle. So
Right.
now, okay,
Right.
the self-sacrificing comes in. And it becomes where you feel like, it's almost like the movie Divergent. And I had watched it not long before writing my book, and I thought it was amazing how everybody had to pick a faction, a certain area that they fit into, and they only were able to carry those labels. And that's what we do to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. I have a quote from a coworker that I had asked at one time. He's a paramedic and he's still a flight medic and he does so much. And I asked him, Brian, if I'm so strong, why do I feel so weak? And I'll read. He said, because like many of us, your training was to hide your humanity for the benefit of those around you, to show your strength and hide your weakness, lest it show through to those who need us to be a wall. We in this job are all horribly broken. Our strength is our internal weakness, and our weakness is our outward strength. So what this meant to me is that we are so used to showing our strength and being that wall for others, that for us to admit or say, I need help, I am not feeling it right now, I feel weak, I need an ear to listen. People become really upset when you've been their rock for so long that they don't always know how to handle it. And
You know,
then we
Eleanor,
become,
you bring up some good points here, and just so we can have a dialogue back and forth here a little bit, you know, and I think this is really pivotal, because as much as you see yourself as this strong rock, this wall for others to lean upon, there's also a reverse action. So the strength that you think you're offering actually allows them to become weakened, because they're relying on your strength and not seeing their own strength. And the other part that
exactly,
you said, which I thought was wonderful, and it's so true, because I believe how we're impacted from our early childhood as well, is that these labels, as you call them, that are kind of identifying who we assume the role that we're taking, and that's been our classification. What we see is the role we must take on to be loved, to be valued, to be fitting into this organization of structure, whether it's family and work or the dynamics of our peers. It becomes also, I believe, part of our soul, SOUL, lesson as to what we need to grow and learn from as well. And I love that quote, because I think you're right. Our strengths can be our weaknesses, and our weaknesses need to be our strengths, and we need to take them on and see them. And part of that is actually sharing our weaknesses. And I don't really even like to use the word weaknesses, but what we have self-imposed as a weakness, which is not truly a
exactly.
weakness, but we self-perceive it as a weakness. To allow that to be shared with others, so that we can be more authentic and truthful, and not just this stoic individual that fears nothing, that feels nothing. We're just this energy that always moves forward, and which is not a truth in ourselves at all.
Oh, that is so true. And I have found, and part of my teaching is that by us always doing for others, you're not allowing them to learn their lessons, and you're enabling them to stay stuck
And be
in their,
codependent.
place, and
Right.
you yourself. Exactly, exactly, exactly.
That's great. So I was
And,
looking through some of your chapters.
knowing what you're doing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. There was a delay. Go ahead.
There
You were
is a
looking through
delay.
some of the chapters and
So I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to catch you before you start another sentence, and then you're still going. So I'm apologizing for our lag between the two connections of our internets. But some of your chapters, which are really great, is well, we've talked about the self-sacrifice. Doing so much for others, in regardless of it. It doesn't even satisfy us. It doesn't even bring us joy. It's more because it brings everyone else joy. We are fulfilling that need, and how that can leave us feeling exhausted, depleted, not even really living a passionate life. It's just this role we've taken on, and all of a sudden you kind of wake up one day and say, oh, I've been doing this for so many years, and everyone thinks I'm wonderful out there, but I'm just so disenchanted with my life. So do you find that with a lot of your
exactly.
customers?
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. I found it with myself and I found it with the clients where it's an eye opener when they realize why they are depressed, why they are depleted. Why can't I get out of bed every morning? I don't want to go to work. I don't want to do this. I want to have fun, but I can't. And it becomes, I can't, I can't, I can't. And it's like, I don't allow words like I can't. I don't know if I can, no, there is, I don't know. There's not, you can. And I believe that we all need to start putting the positive in. And it's amazing how the turnaround, there's one person who I've been working with and more recently, so she is just ecstatic and she's calling me, oh my God, you know what I did today? And I feel so good. And now my husband is so much happier because I'm happier. My
Right.
children are happier because I'm happier. I'm doing my work better. It just, when you take care of yourself, everything else around you falls into place. People are coming up to her and saying, wow, what are you doing? Did you change your hair? Did you do something? And it's like, no, I'm just doing me and I'm happy now. And
Right.
it's resonating to everybody around her. And it just thrills me to hear that.
Yes, that's a wonderful, and congratulations on your client's success. So what is it that you feel is the greatest fear that holds someone back from feeling this inner happiness, to embracing themselves?
There's a fear of judgment. It seems to be we fear being judged the most.
Hmm.
There's society has always told us what we need, from family dynamics all the way out to work relationships or people that you're just meeting on the street. And it's like you feel you're supposed to be one way to satisfy all these people. You can't satisfy everybody, but when you satisfy yourself for what you feel is true for you, it just, there is such a ripple effect that is tremendous. And I feel that there's so many people out there who want this, but they're afraid to be the ones to stand up and say, well, I need to be happy for me. So when they see others actually accepting it for themselves and they see the ripple effect going out into society, it allows them to follow behind and start saying, wow, this does work. I need to do this for me. And if we all can accept that we're different and we have different ways of being happy, that is our truth, it's amazing how much better everything should be. We would be so boring if we were all the same and just did what society wanted.
Yeah. Right. We have to not fit the norm. We have to fall in love with ourselves, see our greatness, our divineness in spirituality, and really awaken to those purpose and gifts, passions that we all have within ourselves that brings delight and joy and also benefit to others. But because you're giving it from your soulful self, not because others are just always in need and you're just filling their needs and exhausting yourself at the same time. So I so agree with your whole theme and the personal empowerment, and it's amazing. And I know you probably agree with me, but that when you start to talk to people about finding this inner peace, this inner sanctuary that allows such personal and spiritual growth and opportunity, that such joy and happiness exists there, that we try to talk about it and say that when you're in this space, that miraculous things happen all the time. The universe is pushing and bringing things to you that support you in so many ways. And that until you experience it, it sounds so foreign. It doesn't sound attainable. But everyone that's listening to this or reading your book or my book, which my book is similar, Powerful Beyond Measure, 3 Steps to Claim Your Power Within. And it's the same thing. You're talking about, I'm so strong, but I feel so weak. And when you find that power within yourself, and I think that's one of your last chapters, it talks about the happiness from within. It's when we find that happiness within ourselves that we claim such greatness in our lives.
That is so true. That is so true, because everything lies within us.
Yeah.
We search and we look for others to make us happy. We search for a job to make us happy. When I have more money, I'll be happy. When I'm doing this, doing that, if I go on vacation, we search for all the external, but it's all here. And we could be happy doing whatever. And it's pure and it's real and it's tangible and it is obtainable. I've lived a life of being depressed and not knowing what to do. I'm messing up my marriage. I'm messing up my children. I'm messing everything up. Living on the, couch depressed because everybody left, and it's like, wait, something woke me up one day and it's like, okay, I'm sitting here being depressed and not doing. At least let me try. And it started opening my eyes to that it lies within me. And I love working with people in finding their truth in their way. Because, like, you and I would be different on how we do things. Somebody else coming in, okay, so find what's comfortable for you and just grow from there. And that's where I think people are afraid. They're afraid of the word hypnosis, first of all. Oh my God. Hypnosis is really just a deep meditation. It's a relaxation. That's really what it is. It's relaxing your body and your thoughts so that you can have clear thinking. You see things in a truer perspective, because we are creatures of making something this small into something that big. And once we start seeing things in the true perspective, worry is just a distraction that masks our distractions. People are actually happier when you take the mask off and say, you know what? I'm sorry. I feel really upset. I'm sad today. Because if you're always the strong one they see themselves sometimes as being so weak, and they want to live up to your expectations of yourself. And you living up to your expectations of yourself, you're like, whoa, no, you don't know how I feel. I'm not happy. I'm not, but we have that mask on, so everybody thinks your life is so peachy keen. I had, and God rest his soul, but my ex, I had his girlfriend, and this was before we were divorced, coming to me and saying, I want to be just like you. I want your life. And it's like, no, please be careful what you wish for. And yeah, and I actually felt badly for her. And we talked for a long time, and she did take on my life in that she took him, and it became, I saw me. She was a younger version of who I was prior to coming out. And coming out, that sounds so funny, but yes, I came out, and I am who I am, who I'm supposed to be. And it was weird for a little bit, but I actually worked with her, and she is the greatest person. We're still friends. And I see her for who she is, and everybody has a story.
Yeah, and also possibly you saw yourself better when you saw that she wanted to emulate you, and and like you said, some people, I'm a very extroverted person. I come across confident, and I'm very open and honest when I'm feeling saddened or tired or whatever. And I'll be honest and say that. But for most people, some people can be off guard. They're like, you have it all put together. You've gotten so much accomplished. And you know what? I've worked really hard, but there's things I didn't get that you might not know about. So we have to be careful how we choose to frame and to look upon other people, because we're not living and walking in their shoes. And they might have blisters. They might have hammer toes, because their journey's been very hard and treacherous. And so we need to be careful, always wanting to be somebody else or to aspire to their greatness. And we are all great within ourselves. And when you start to awaken to that understanding of who you are, amazing things happen in your life. Really, truly.
Exactly. And
so tell people how. I'm sorry. So tell people how they can reach you. Do you have a website that they can reach you?
I have a website, thewondersofyou.com.
Great.
And they can reach me at my email, eleanormiller91@gmail.com. That's EleanorMiller91@gmail.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, your book is being published by Morgan James Publishing House, and they're a great publisher. We're same as mine. And your book is coming out in what month of next year?
It's coming out in May of next year.
Great.
I am self-published on Amazon right now, and it made international bestseller.
Yay.
It's still a little weird to hear that, but people, oh my God, it was so hard for me to be vulnerable. I'm more introverted. I'm an open book. If you ask me questions, I will tell you everything, but I'm not one to just put everything out there. And that was the hardest thing when I wrote my book, hitting that send button. Oh my God, I thought I was going to get sick. It was like, there's no unsend. But immediately somebody had gotten the book, and she wrote me the most beautiful review that I have here. And it was my confirmation. If I can just read the one little part.
That would be wonderful. Would you please?
The last part that made me cry, oh my God, I couldn't even read it to my daughter. I had to just send it to her because I was crying so hard. Yesterday, I prayed for God to steer me in the right direction and give me strength. Today, I read your book. Thank you. That was like one of the most, it let me know that I am on the right path and I am doing the right thing. It was just tremendous and amazing. So this is just always framed for me to look at when I feel any kind of discouragement. Am I doing things correctly? Am I really reaching people? The reviews have been tremendous. Even family members have been reading the book and telling me, you know what, I had to reread your book yesterday because I needed a little bit more of a kick in the butt to see that, okay, it's okay, and I will get through this. So it's been really, I feel good about putting myself out there now. And I hope
Congratulations.
to, thank you, thank you.
That's great. And thank you for sharing that review. That's beautiful. It's very profound to realize you make impacts in people's lives. I have read similar reviews. You know, I do a lot of book studies and library presentations, and you know, people come up and say, "You've transformed my life. I've been to psychiatrists for 30 years, and I've learned more from your book and your presentation." I mean, it's just amazing. And really, this is a time for everyone and anyone that's listening to this interview. There are so many ways out there for you to become empowered, to see your capabilities, your unique greatness, and really, the time is never more right to come to this understanding and knowing of you, and learning to be who you are, not be who others want you or have identified you to be. It's just an amazing sanctuary that you live within yourself of this beautiful, you know, conjure up this image of where it is that you are completely at peace within yourself. You know, is it a beautiful forest and moss laden ground, and that you're just one with nature and the birds and this and that, or it's the ocean or whatever, and that this is your inner sanctuary of just divine peace and joy that you are experiencing all the time. It doesn't mean you still don't have problems and obstacles, right? But it's how we experience it and know that we
Right.
can get through it. It's just amazing. Well, I am very excited because I got an advance copy of Eleanor's book, and I encourage all of you to go to Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, any of the online, and put your pre-orders in. You know, you'll be one of the first ones that get your copies mailed out to you from the online, and of course after May, you said, or April, the books will be available in bookstores, so you can order yours there as well. So I wish you much success, and thank you for making such a profound impact on other people's lives, and really coming to know your own passion. And I applaud you in all that you're doing.
Thank you very much, and thank you for all that you do and for allowing me to be part of your audience today. I do
Well,
sincerely thank you for that.
you're so welcome. And if you're here listening, God, the creator of the universe, has brought you here to hear this message. Whether it's a conglomeration of both our messages, whether it's just Eleanor's book, whether it's our book, it doesn't matter, because we're all here doing the same thing and trying to have you see your greatness. And so until the next time, remember, you are powerful beyond measure, and that you have the power within yourself to achieve all your greatness, all your happiness and success, and to learn to see yourself as the divine spark of light and love that you are. Many blessings to all of you, and let's support Eleanor in her fabulous book. Again, it's If I'm So Strong, Why Do I Feel So Weak? Let's go out and order our copies of that amazing book and watch how it transforms your life. Take care until the next time. Much love to you all. Bye.